Let's regroup. Let's regroup. So tonight, like I was stating, and you couldn't hear me, I am Dr. Sandy Delise, and welcome to the fifth. All right. Tonight we're going to be talking about access denied. Access denied. Got it strolling through and seeing. This is the title of the show. All right. So I was saying earlier when I was on block, like I was trying to be denied. That devil was trying to deny me because maybe I got something good to say for somebody to hear, and I was already trying to be denied. But listen, sometimes denied means delayed, not denied. And I'm here to prove it to you right now. I worked at it. I figured it out. I had to leave and come back, but I was not denied. I was delayed. And now here I am. All right. So many times people say access is denied, access is denied, access is denied. And sometimes it might hurt your feelings, right? Or you might deny somebody access to something and that might hurt their feelings. All right? But what does it truly mean when access is denied? Access could be denied from a person. What's up, Tori? Access could be denied from a place. Access could be denied from a certain situation. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to realize like access denied doesn't always mean that it's a bad thing. All right. I know when you hear the title, if you've seen it before, post it on Facebook, I posted on YouTube, access denied. Some people that I saw on the streets was like, ooh, this is about to be a good one. But if you know something about me, I always come and I try to pop off on some positivity and I try to spin it. All right. So access denied tonight, we're going to talk about it. Could be access being denied from something or someone or someplace, or your access could be denied in where everything that is denied doesn't mean you're not going to have access to it. It may just mean that it's just delayed. All right. It may just mean that it's just delayed. So when you look at it, if you look at the definition, wherever you look at it, Merriam's Dictionary, you Google it, Yahoo, Bing, whatever you use, right? Access just means to obtain something, to get something, to have something. All right. If you want to go further, it's to be given the opportunity to do something. All right. So the next part of it, you could say deny. It means to refuse something. All right. To be blocked from something. Okay. So you have one part. It's kind of like what people call like a almost like an oxymoron. Like you have access, you're trying to get in, and then it's denied. No, you got to stay out. Right. So it's kind of like, how do you make the two things mix together for it to benefit you and for you to feel like even though your access is denied, you still come out on top? Okay. How do you feel that when you say that your access is denied, you still come out on top? All right. So let's start the show off with this one question. Let's go here. What does access denied mean to you? And why do you feel that you will need to deny someone access? All right. What does access denied mean to you? And why would you need to deny someone access? All right. So I could tell you personally, for me, access denied for me could possibly mean that it ain't my time. It is not my time. Okay. I could think about different situations in my life that has gone on or has happened to me. And I want it to happen at a certain time. I want it to happen in a certain order. Right. But I've been denied access. Okay. I may have been denied access to get on a ride at an amusement park because we know those lines are long. You may have been denied access to a person in a relationship. All right. And that kind of hurt your feelings because you may have felt like you were rejected. Okay. I know I hear stories of people all the time trying to get into nursing school, trying to get into medical school, trying to just get into a college of their choice. And it does not happen. Right. And some people might just say, you know what? Access denied. I'm not going to try. Okay. Access denied. I can't do it. Maybe I'm not built for it. Maybe it's just not for me. right? Maybe I don't have what it takes. One thing that people always like to say is, maybe I'm just not enough. Maybe I'm just not enough. And those are the type of feelings that people possibly feel when there is something that you really want and something that you want to grasp, right? You really want it, but in that moment, in that time, it doesn't happen for you. Okay. And you're going to have to be able to live with the possibility that you may never have access to whatever it is that you're looking for. You know, sometimes when you think about access denied, people say, right, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or some people are like, man, I'm glad I wasn't there, because if I was there, then this, that, and the third. You know, like people have car accidents and you were supposed to be in the car with them. And then you're like, if I was there, I was supposed to be in the car with them. Then that could have been me, right? So the point I'm trying to make to you right now is that all access that you're denied from, it's not all bad. All right. Sometimes being denied action, I don't know where my mind's at. Sometimes being denied access could very much be for your protection. All right. Being denied access could very much be for your protection. Being denied access could very much be to push you in a different direction. This is the hard part that a lot of people can't handle. Being denied access could very well be for correction, right? One of the hardest things for a lot of people is to have to go through a life lesson that is hard. And you don't understand, like, there's something about yourself that needs to be fixed, right? Tori said definitely for protection. All right. Being denied access could be for your protection, it could be for your direction, or it could be for correction. Okay. There is a job somewhere, someone out there that they really want to have. Okay. You're interviewing for this job repeatedly. You're interviewing for this job and you don't get it. Right. And you feel like, why can't I get this job? I have all the qualifications, right? I check off all the boxes that they're asking for, but yet here I am not able to get into this certain position. Okay. That's because sometimes you think you know what's best for yourself, right? But a lot of times it's possible that you don't. A lot of times the direction that you see that you want your life to go into, it's not the direction that's going to lead you to your purpose. All right. Sometimes your access has to be denied for you to get to your purpose and be sent in a different direction. It hurts. It's painful. Okay. It's embarrassing, depending if it happens in front of a bunch of people. Okay. But sometimes you need to be denied in order for you to go in a different direction. Okay. So I could say a long time ago, when I first started on my journey into adulthood, I wanted to open a daycare. All right. I just knew that I was going to be a daycare owner. I am a teacher, but that is not the sector that my life was headed into. Okay. Every stepping stone that I've taken, every path that I've taken, the people that have crossed from not opening a daycare to me now becoming a teacher has fulfilled my purpose. Okay. So as I'm being a teacher and I'm working with kids, then I realize I really like empowering those kids. I really like helping them figure out how to get from point A to point B, or helping them figure out their emotional dysregulations, right? And start of the day on a bad foot and it end up on a good foot. So from there, I was like, okay, I like this. Then I started feeling a sense and an urgent for me to be a life coach. All right. And then I realized, well, I'm not only reaching kids, I could also reach adults. Okay. right? So if I was in the position of where I was down on my luck because I couldn't open that daycare and access to that was denied, that I would have been blocking my purpose, because I believe that I really am working in my purpose right now. Okay. I believe that I am a people for the people, right? I'm here to advocate. I'm here to empower. I'm here to uplift. I'm here to unify. I'm here to listen and try to help you go on your journey, whichever path that you choose. Okay. It doesn't mean that I have all the answers. It doesn't mean that you have all the answers, right? It just means that you got to be able to sit with yourself when you are denied access to something, okay, and just say, it didn't work out this time, or this is not the right time, or even if it doesn't spin the block and it doesn't come back for me, you're going to still be all right. I'm still going to be okay. You cannot get stuck because you've been denied access to something. All right. One of the worst things that can happen is when you get into a space where you've been denied access that is for your correction. Okay. Everybody knows that the minute you jump into this relationship, everything feels amazing. You know, it feels good. Yeah, this is a person for me. Right. And then you go through life, and then you go through that honeymoon phase, and then you start to really realize, like, that person will really want you with them all the time, or even most of the time, like you thought they would have, because you join with them, you live, you moved in with them, y'all talking about getting married, you're talking about having a family, this, that, and the third, whichever order that you want to do it. Okay. This is a big part of where, when you're denied access, you feel rejected, and you go through this life, and you keep going through life, and then you find out this person that was the apple of your eye. Which, first of all, if you really got to think the apple of your eye, I mean, think about it now. Eve bit that apple. You know what I'm saying? Eve bit that apple. So when you think about the apple of your eye, you got to really sit back and be like, man, what does that apple really mean? Is that bite in that apple really sweet? Or is that bite in that apple a little bit of a notion, or a little bit of a little like, I wonder what's coming next. But we're going to just bite the apple. So anyway, back on track. So you're talking about somebody being the apple of your eye. And you never, ever in your life even foresee that this person will eventually be a person that you no longer care to be around. They no longer care for you to be around them. And then you're going through life, you're going through months, you're going through years, and you are denying that person something. You might be denying them time. You might be denying them access to love. You might be denying them access to all that you have to offer. You could be denying them access to your family, right? Because you got together, that's their family, because your family becomes their family. And then all of a sudden, you both start denying each other things that you once gave each other access to, right? How do you navigate that part of being denied access? Because it's hard. All right. If you ever been in a relationship and you got to that point where you are now being denied access to this person, or that person is denying you access to them, or you start to deny access to yourself, for sure, that's a hard place to be. But yeah, I'm with Jonathan. That's like, it is a process. It's like everything else. It is a process. And we talk about that in podcasts before. Life is a process. Journeys are a process. And even when you denied access, it's a process. One of the hardest things that life throws at us is being able to sit in hurt. Let me say that again. One of the hardest things in life that it throws at us is being able to sit in hurt. And that is the first part of what you feel when you've been denied access to something. Always remember when I speak, I'm not always talking about from a relationship. All right. Ooh, yes. Yes, Jonathan said all apples are not good apples. Can't see the worm until you bite the right section. Ooh, listen. That's when you talk about navigating that life. That's when you talk about navigating life. Because you know what they say. Once you start, like I said, you get into this relationship, you might not be seeing all that person's true colors. I saw a quote the other day that said, when you get to the end of your relationship, the way that person treats you is exactly who that person is. Right? Because that's when you really got to say, am I able to still treat you with kindness, respect, and love when I really don't feel love for you anymore? You know, I may have love for you, but I don't love you. So can I still treat you that way? You know, so to Jonathan's point, that's when those apples, those worms start to come out. And the deeper you bite into that apple, you know, you might just find that there's a whole lot of worms. There's a whole lot of worms. But I'm not a person that talks about giving up. And I'm not a person that talks about not giving people a chance to do better. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you're gonna bite into that apple and you're gonna see that worm because you just hit that sweet spot. But you know, what's not good for you could be good for somebody else. Okay. So that goes into the next point I'm gonna make for you. Okay. While you are being denied access to something, you gotta be okay with that access that you denied somebody. It may just be access for somebody else. It may just be an opportunity for something better to come your way. Okay? Like I said, all access being denied ain't all bad. It's not all bad. All right? So, as you go through life, like I said, and you go through different jobs and you go through different relationships and you feel rejected, you know, you're like, this is not the direction that I want my life to go in. Why me? Why do I have to go through this? This is not a lesson that I even saw myself wanting to learn. And if it is a lesson that I had to learn, why did it have to be so hard? Why does it have to feel so bad? Why do I have to hurt so much for me to learn this lesson? All right. You have to be in a place where you're able to persevere. You have to be in a place where even though your eyes are wide open, they still not shut. Okay. Make sure that even though your eyes are wide open, they're still not shut. Okay. That just means that you know this didn't work out. So I'm headed this way. And it's like a one track. This is the way I want to go. This is the way that I'm headed. And I'm not looking to my left and I'm not looking to my right. All I see is what's right in front of me. Okay. Still thinking because this is the way that you want to go. This is what's good for you. All right. Until once again, boom, you hit that roadblock and you've been denied access again. Because some of us have to go through some things over and over and over and over and over again for us to get the point. Sometimes you got to just let things happen. And just because it doesn't feel good right now, it doesn't mean that on the flip side of it, something better won't come. Okay. As a teacher, they've always said that if a teacher makes it through her fifth year or his fifth year of teaching, then they're in the right profession because it's hard. Okay. It's hard working with people, period. You have your own personalities. They have their own personalities. It's very hard working with people. Okay. But even though you're in this profession for 2 years, 3 years, there are a lot of roadblocks that you're going to hit. Okay, because whether or not you own your own business, you're either working for somebody or somebody's working for you. Even if you own your own business, you can still be denied access to something. All right, something as simple as that person that's supposed to open your shop at 5 a.m. ain't there. Now you got to get out of bed and you got to get there because they're not there to open your shop. All right, they denied you the opportunity for you to rest as the owner, but now you have to be there. God opens doors and God closes doors. Yes, he does, to catapult you in the right direction. All right, Jonathan said stay in prayer. And yes, he does. If you're a person of faith and you're a person that follows the Most High and God is the person that you serve, then he is going to open and close doors. All right. But I've said it before and you're going to hear me say it repeatedly because it fits almost everything in life. All right. Sometimes rejection is for your protection. Sometimes rejection is for your protection. Okay. So that's where you look at the word rejection and you're like, yeah, well, that's a word that stings. That's a word that puts a bad taste in my mouth. You know, to be quite honest, I've gone through the rejection. And if you know me and talk to me, you know I'll tell you 100 times over, it has been the biggest blessing of my life. Right? The direction that my life is headed into, I don't think I would have ever even imagined being in that direction if it wasn't for the rejection from somebody else. Did it hurt in the moment? Yes. Did it hurt for a while? Yes. Right? But when I say I didn't sit in the hurt to stay in the hurt, I sat in the hurt for me to learn hard life lessons. Okay. The one thing I try to say to people is you got to feel your feelings. No, it doesn't mean you extra emotional. It just means that I'm okay with being hurt in the moment. And I want to understand, what is this hurt teaching me? What is this hurt doing for me? What can I gain from being hurt? So you got to be able to feel your feelings. If you're afraid to feel what you feel, it's going to be hard for you to grow. There's a reason they have this thing called growing pains. It don't feel good. It hurts. You know, but if you keep trying to remedy it and remedy it and remedy it and try to fix the problem as soon as it comes, and you don't sit back and just assess why you're going through this, your process may just take a little bit longer. Right? Like, this is not for me. And I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. You know what I'm saying? But you see people that get married repeatedly. Some people get married once, twice, 3 times, and they're good. But there's some people that get married repeatedly, and they find themselves dealing with the same issues, the same problems, right? Because sometimes you have to take a step back and sit in the hurt and figure out, which way do I go? You know what? I went left 5 times, but for some reason I refused to try to go right. Okay. I went right once and it didn't hurt. I went right twice and it didn't hurt. But I saw something different. I saw something that tastes a little bit better. I saw something that looked good. Okay. And it wasn't that when you went left, some good things didn't happen. Going left just wasn't the way for you to go, because you needed to sit and be present in what's happening in your life in that moment in order for you to move forward. Okay, here's something that I'm going to tell you, and I believe this is going to be a little gem for you. All right. If you don't take the time to deny people access to you when you're in a place when you're not ready for people, you are always going to be denied access to somebody else. I'm going to say that again. Okay. If you are in a place where you do not want to deny access to yourself because you are in a certain situation, you're going to find yourself constantly being denied access to other people. Okay. You can't be afraid of yourself. Denying people access to you is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you're not in that frame of mind. Sometimes you're not ready. All right. You get up every day, you go to work every day, the sun's shining, but it doesn't mean that you're ready to face what life has to throw at you when you're struggling with yourself on the inside. You know, it's kind of like wanting to be forgiven, but you don't have it in your heart to forgive. And then you're mad about it. Right? Somebody's denying you access for you to say, I forgive you. But there's also somebody else on this side that you don't want to say, I forgive you too. It just can't work. That just won't work. You know, one thing I teach my students all the time is about integrity. You know what I'm saying? Treat people the way that you want to be treated and do what's right even when nobody's watching. You know, people like to talk about karma, but I just say, you know, vengeance is his. Vengeance is his, you know. So don't be afraid if you have to deny access to someone. Don't be afraid if you're denied access to a person, a place, or a thing. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean you're not enough. It just means that right now is not the right time. And if you stay the course, and if you navigate the hurt, if you navigate your feelings, you navigate the ups, you navigate the downs, you navigate the bumps in the road, you navigate the curves, you know, then eventually you'll get to where you realize that access denied was for your protection. Access denied could have been for your correction. Most importantly, access denied could have been for you to get yourself on the right path to a different direction that serves to get you to your purpose. Okay? So sit with it. Be good with it. All right? Don't take all access denied as something bad. Don't take you denying someone access to yourself as something bad. Understood? Like situations like I'll give you one of my personals, for instance, that I've been dealing with. It seems like 2 and 3 years in a row. Okay, I love people. I give myself to people constantly. All right. But when people go through their own emotions and I realize that they don't want to be bothered, I give them their space. Okay. I'm not mean. I'm not nasty. I just realized that you need your space. And how do you know I know that you need your space? Because when I say good morning, you don't talk back. Right? You walk past me and you don't speak. And I always speak, but you don't respond to me. Okay? I'm coming from a place where I've had to deny people access to me. And I'm cool with it. Okay? So those same people treat you as if you're invisible. They can't see you. You see them, but they can't see you. So I've given people their space. Now they spin the block and they come back. Exactly. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, Tori. You're right. It doesn't mean I'm bad. And let me just tell you one thing. When I talk about feel your feelings, I'm a person that feels my feelings and I assess things. Okay. So after these people decide to shun me, because that's the word that I'm going to use is shun, they don't speak when I speak. They don't want to be around. If they see me coming, they go left. And we've never had a conversation like, Sandy, you did this and I didn't like it. These people now have taken months. And when I say months, I'm talking 2-3 months where this situation is going on. They're not speaking. They're just passing by. I'm watching them speak to all the other people around me, but they don't have anything to say to me. And then all of a sudden, they decide it is now time for me to reach back out to you. Access denied. And I'm telling you straight up, access denied. I'm worth more than that. I'm worth more than that. You don't get to just throw me away like trash. You don't get to just throw me away like a gum that has been chewed on for 3 hours, because that's a long time and that's nasty. All right? You don't get to throw me away like that old stale milk that you forgot in your refrigerator. No, not me. Okay? And then you decide, I'm feeling good. I've worked through what I need to work through. And now I'm ready to approach Sandy again. Access denied. And guess who's the bad person? Me. And guess what I do? Sit with it. I sit with it because I know my worth. And the one thing I'm not going to do is allow somebody to treat me in a way that I don't treat anybody else. I'm not going to do that. There is a correct and there is a proper way to do this. Okay? So if you decided that you no longer want to deal with me, I'm okay with that. That's life. Some people come and some people go. But when you decide to spin the block and you just want to come back and decide, kiki, haha, this is what we're going to do, access denied. Access denied. I am not opposed to having a conversation. I'm not opposed to having a conversation. What I am opposed to is you thinking that I am always going to be at your disposal based on your emotions. I'm not doing that. I'm human. I have feelings. You're a human and you have feelings. But the one thing that I don't get to do is take out my feelings that doesn't serve me any purpose and put it on you and expect you to understand why I'm feeling this way. Access denied. I'm worth more than that. You know, so when I say to you, I encourage you to be mindful of, if you have people in your life that you're given access to, that you probably need to deny them access. And I'm not saying deny access forever. I'm just talking about denying them access so you can search yourself and search your soul. Yeah, it's real talk, Tori. Just don't throw me away. Just don't throw me away. I'm made for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I'm priceless. So you can't just decide that I'm only going to be worth something to you when you think that you finally found my worth. I always know my worth. I know what my worth is. If you don't know what my worth is, then I'm sorry for you. Access denied. But if it's going to take you a while to figure out my worth, I'm okay with that. But you're not going to be disrespectful to me while you're really figuring out that I am worth something. Because we're all worth something. I may be worth more to one person than I am to another, and that's okay. Everybody don't like black coffee with cream. Everybody don't. Everybody don't like Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, whatever diet drink. Everybody don't. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you got to know your worth. All right? So here's a question that I asked for you. Okay? Who are you giving access to you? Who has access to you? Are there people in your life that has access to you that you know for a fact you need a timeout? And I'm not talking about a TV timeout because those don't last a long time. I'm talking about a timeout. You can't allow people to get into your space where they drain you. Okay? Because one thing I'm going to tell you is this. If you allow the wrong person access to you, and their only reason for having access to you is to drain you of what you can do for them, you're going to be the person that's going to suffer. Because they're going to take all they can get. And like Tori said, they're going to just throw you away. And they on to the next. So be mindful. Be mindful of who you're giving access to you. All right? So, who are you giving access to you, and do they deserve to have access to you? Because you got to remember, all access ain't good access. All access ain't good access. All right? And it's hard. One of the hardest things for people to understand is they say it's your family, it's a close friend. Sometimes people got to be denied access. Absolutely right. As Tori said, Jonathan said it. The positive side of denied access is personal growth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I've had a few episodes, like 3. And at the end of it all, we always talk about personal growth. Personal growth, all right? First episode, I was like, you don't need a cosigner. You got to grow. All right? Next episode, I spoke about how single are you? It's personal growth, okay? Now, tonight, we jumped on access denied. All access ain't good access, and you might be delayed, but you won't be denied. And that's for you. That's a message to you. I'm not talking about being denied something and let it be delayed. I'm talking about you. You denying access to people, to things, and even to places that don't serve your purpose. Denying access to those things, you're delaying where you're going. You should have been there 2 years ago, but you're not. Because you keep giving access to people, places, and things because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or you don't want to seem like a party pooper, or you don't want to seem like you don't know enough about the situation and you don't have something to say about the conversation. Be you, stay in your lane, and grow yourself. Be you, stay in your lane, and grow yourself. Okay? The people that understand who you are, they're going to love you. The people that understand the lane that you're driving in, they're going to come alongside you. The people that see you growing and see that you're making an effort to grow, they're going to support you. They're going to encourage you. They're going to sprinkle seeds on you that's going to allow you to multiply. But you have to know for yourself that you can sit in this denial of access to people, places, and things for you to get to where you're supposed to be, for you to get to your purpose. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to your purpose. The point of it is that you are working towards your purpose. And how do you know you're working towards your purpose? Because the people you're around, it feels good. The places that you go, it feels good. And the way that you're growing, the things that you're learning, it feels good. If there is anything that's disturbing your peace, if there is anybody that's getting in your way, if there are places that you're going that is an infraction, and I'm calling it an infraction, not a distraction. It's an infraction because eventually it's going to cause you harm. And harm doesn't mean physical harm. I'm talking about that emotional harm that you can't get away from, that you got to do it for yourself. Listen to me. Know yourself so you can grow yourself. Know yourself so you can grow yourself. And in order for you to know yourself, it's going to take you denying access to certain things. And don't worry about it when you deny access. It does not feel good. Stay the course. Stay in your lane. And eventually, you're going to find out what your purpose is. All right? So I thank y'all for joining me tonight. I thank those of you that always stop by at the Fifth. The future is forward. That's what the Fifth stands for if it's your first time being here. All right? So remember, I want you to like, subscribe, share my page, share my links, tell a friend, bring somebody to join me next Tuesday. All right? So that we can continue to empower, we can continue to uplift, we can continue to move forward as a people, as a human race that reaches out and does good, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. All right? And if we can do that, then your future is going to go forward. My future is going to go forward. But remember, here at the Fifth, all of our futures are forward. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a good night, and I appreciate you. Take care.